जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा।
जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय
जय
नित्यानंद
द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद।
जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद।
जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा।
जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद
जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद।
जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद।
जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा।
जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद
जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद।
जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद।
श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय। श्रील कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita reading. After a long gap, let's catch up and see where we are. So we are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 4. This is the devotion of Madhavendra Puri. That's the title of this chapter. Sri Madhavendra Puri's devotional service. Sri Madhavendra Puri's devotional service. So, uh, what all did we see about Srila Madhavendra Puri? Srila Madhavendra Puri is the root and the trunk of the tree of devotional service. And yes, so Mahaprabhu, what are we reading here? This is Madhya Lila. Madhya Lila started with Mahaprabhu's acceptance of sannyas. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila starts with Mahaprabhu's acceptance of sannyas. So after accepting sannyas, Mahaprabhu begins to travel. So from Katwa, he started off to go to Vrindavan, but then he turned around and he came back to Bengal. He went to Advaitacharya's home in Shantipur, and after spending several days and there, or a few days there, then on the request of Sachi Mata, Mahaprabhu decided that he'll make his headquarters in Jagannath Puri. So now he's on his way to Jagannath Puri, isn't it? So, and he's traveling with Nityananda Prabhu and Damodar Pandit. Nityananda Prabhu, Damodar Pandit, I think Mukunda, and one more devotee. So, while traveling, they come to this place called Remuna. In Remuna is Kheer Chor Gopinath. So there, Mahaprabhu remembers seeing Gopinath. The very name Kheerachor Gopinath means Gopinath who stole kheer. So why did he steal kheer? For the sake of his devotee Madhavendra Puri. So Mahaprabhu tells his associates the pastimes of uh, Gopinath and of Madhavendra Puri. That's how this description of Madhavendra Puri began. So how did Mahaprabhu describe that? Once upon a time, Madhavendra Puri came to Vrindavan, and what was his consciousness? He was always, he was not in external consciousness ever. he was not aware where he was. He was not aware of his body, whether it was day or night. Like this, by the Lord's arrangement, he arrived at Govardhan. And then, uh, doing parikrama of Govardhan, he ends up at Govindakund. And there, uh, one small boy brings him a pot of milk. And Madhavendra Puri is very much enchanted by the beauty of this boy, by the charm of this boy. And then uh, the boy, the, the quality of Madhavendra Puri is that he would not beg anyone for anything. If anything came on its own accord, he accepted it. Otherwise, he would just starve. He wouldn't ask anyone. He wouldn't even beg. He's not even an external consciousness. What he will beg? Then this boy said, "Oh, Madhavendra Puri, here, take this milk." So, being charmed by this boy's beauty, Madhavendra Puri asked, who are you, and how do you know that I'm hungry? So the boy said that I have not eaten. So the boy said, my name is Gopal. I live in this village, and in my village, nobody starves. If anyone, usually people, those who are sadhus, they go around doing madhukari, and they take some roti or milk and fruits, whatever they get. So they are supplied with whatever they eat. Some of them drink only milk, others eat grains and fruits. So we supply whatever they eat. But some sadhus don't even beg. Then I personally go to them and I give them. So the ladies who came to fill water at Govindakund, they saw that you were sitting here all day and you haven't eaten anything. So they sent this milk to you. So then uh, he said, also the boy said, here, drink this milk. And actually, it was evening time. It's time for me to go and milk the cows. I have to hurry. So I cannot wait. I'll come back to get the pot. So Madhavendra Puri took that pot, and the boy was walking away, and all of a sudden he disappeared. Madhavendra Puri couldn't see him anymore. So he drank the milk, and he couldn't stop thinking about this boy. He washed off the pot, and he was waiting for the boy to return. Waiting, waiting, waiting. It was night. The boy didn't return. And Madhavendra Puri was restless. He couldn't sleep thinking about this boy. So then he started to just chant all night long. He was just sitting there under the tree and chanting. And somewhere just before morning, he kind of dozed off. And then in his dream, he saw the same boy hold his hand and take him into the forests on Govardhan Hill. And there he brought him to thick bushes. And he said, um, my name is Gopal. I'm the king of this place. Hmm? And I reside here in these bushes. And then he tells that how being afraid of the Muslim rulers who are attacking Hindus or the devotees, the priest, my pujari, he okay. Also, the boy said, "I'm Gopal. I'm the lifter of Govardhan, so I'm Krishna." And then my pujari, being afraid of these Muslim rulers, he hid me, buried me here in these bushes underground here, and then he ran away. And since that time, for a long time, I've been staying here. And through rains and wind and cold and summer heat, I'm tortured here. So bring me out from here. I've been waiting when Madhavendra Puri will come and when he will, when he will serve me. I want to be served by you. So please get some people, village people, and take me out of here. And then also the boy gave instructions how Madhavendra Puri should build a nice temple for Gopal and arrange for his worship, for his service. So all this was happening in the dream. After saying this, the boy disappeared in the dream. So Madhavendra Puri woke up, and then he realized, oh, the boy that came to me, that is Krishna. He had come, and I could not recognize him. So then he became very much agitated, disturbed. But shortly after that, he realized, oh, I don't have time for all this. Gopal has given me a duty. I must go call all the village people and take them to that bush and bring Gopal out of that, from those bushes. So he just, shook off his uh, ecstasy of disappointment. And then he went and took bath, did his morning, worship or whatever. He took bath, and then he went into town, marketplace, and he gathered all people there, and he said, the Lord uh, uh, of Vraja, uh, the Govardhandhari, he is there on top of the mountain, or he is there in the bushes on Govardhan, and he wants to be worshipped by all of you. Please come. And they were all very happy. And also, Krishna had instructed, the boy Gopal had instructed Madhavendra Puri, bring some instruments, some choppers and spades, because the bushes are very thick. You have to cut through in order to find a way till here. So that's what Madhavendra Puri told them. So they all came with their tools, choppers, and they actually started making way. And Madhavendra Puri was guiding them. And finally, they arrived there and they excavated that place. And under the bushes, they saw Gopal. And then now the next task was carrying him up on top of Govardhan. But to take him there, um, no one person could actually lift Govardhan. Even the strongest of men could not. They realized that. So then they gathered the strongest of all men, several of them. Then they picked up Govardhan, and with Madhavendra Puri, they all went on top of the hill. And there is no temple yet, so they just put a stone slab. There was a stone slab. They uh, placed Gopal, and then they placed another stone behind for support. And then immediately, all the village people, they brought whatever milk, yogurt, sweets, sandesh, milk sweets, and water. Actually, even before that, first he had to be bathed. He was covered with so much dirt, dust, right? And being there for such a long time. Another instruction was, Gopal had said to Madhavendra Puri, you should bathe me with lots of cool water, right? To cool me down from all that, um, heat. So they immediately went and brought pots and pots, clay pots of Govind Kund water, like 900 water pots. And then we saw the whole Abhishek ceremony, or different items, right, that they bathed. So the first day they just went and got whatever they had, milk, yogurt, and sweets, and they offered to Madhavendra Puri. Then they performed Aarti. They brought so many gifts, tulsi, flowers, and clothes, like that. Whatever they had, they brought the best things they had for Gopal. And the next morning, early morning, there were many brahmanas that came to cook, and also the potters in the village. They supplied so many pots for cooking and for serving Gopal. Then early morning, next morning, they started preparing. Like 5 brahmanas were engaged in preparing rice preparations. Then I think 10 people were cooking vegetable preparations. Then so many were rolling rotis. Like this, it was an annakut ceremony. Large quantities of food was being offered to Gopal. So they had like mountains of rice and rotis and sweet rice, pots filled with sweet rice, like this. The next day, that was being offered. I don't know where exactly we stopped. Let me see. So the verse was 80. Hmm. Okay, I'll just quickly read the translations from here from 56. When the deity was being installed, 900 pots of water was brought from Govindakund. There were musical sounds of bugles and drums and the singing of women. During the festival at the installation ceremony, some people sang and some danced. All the milk, yogurt, and clarified butter in the village were brought to the festival. Various foods and sweetmeats, as well as other kinds of presentations, were brought there. I am unable to describe all these. The villagers brought a large quantity of tulsi leaves, flowers, and various kinds of garments. Then Sri Madhavendra personally began the Abhishek, bathing ceremony. This is all the first day. After all inauspicious things were driven away by the chanting of the mantra, the deity's bathing ceremony started. First, the deity was massaged with a large quantity of oil so that his body became very glossy. After the first bathing, further bathings were conducted with Panchagavya and then with Panchamrita. Then the Mahasnan was performed with ghee and water, which had been brought in 100 pots. So these are the several bathings, right? First with oil, then with Panchagavya, Panchamrita, then ghee and water. After the Mahasnan was finished, the deity was again massaged with scented oil and his body made glossy. Then the last bathing ceremony was performed with scented water kept within a conch shell. After the body of the deity was cleansed, he was dressed very nicely with new garments. Then sandalwood pulp, tulsi garlands, and other fragrant flower garlands were placed upon the body of the deity. After the bathing ceremony was finished, incense and lamps were burned, and all kinds of food offered before the deity. These foods included yogurt, milk, and as many sweetmeats as were received. So, see, there was no cooking. What was already available was offered the first day. Abhishek was performed, Aarti was done, and milk and yogurt and sweets were offered. The deity was first offered many varieties of food, then scented drinking water in new pots, and then water for washing the mouth. Finally, pan mixed with a variety of spices was offered. After the last offering of tambula and pan, Bhoga Aratrika was performed. Finally, everyone offered various prayers and then obeisances, falling flat before the deity in full surrender. Okay, so this is that first day when they actually brought Gopal. As soon as the people of the village had understood that the deity was going to be installed, they had brought their entire stocks of. So now, when they came to see the deity, they had brought all the rice, dal, atta, whatever they had, they brought. But how can they offer that raw rice and atta? How they can offer that? Has to be cooked, right? So they had brought the entire stock of rice, dal, and wheat flour. They brought such large quantities that the entire surface of the top of the hill was filled. When the villagers brought their stock of rice, dal, and flour, the potters of the village brought all kinds of cooking pots, and in the morning, the cooking began. Okay, so this would be the next day. 10 Brahmanas cooked the food grains, and 5 Brahmanas cooked both dry and liquid vegetables. The vegetable preparations were made from various kinds of spinach, roots, and fruits collected from the forest. And someone made bada and badi by mashing dal. In this way, the Brahmanas prepared all kinds of food. 5 to 7 men prepared a huge quantity of chapatis, which were completely covered with ghee, clarified butter, as were all the vegetables, rice, and dal. All the cooked rice was stacked on palasha leaves. Now, see, they didn't yet have silver plates and bowls and all that. So rice was offered on palasha leaves from the forest, which were on new cloths spread over the ground. Around the stack of cooked rice were stacks of chapatis, and all the vegetables and liquid vegetable preparations were placed in different pots and put around them. Pots of yogurt, milk, buttermilk, and shikarini, sweet rice, cream, and solid cream were placed alongside the vegetables. In this way, the Annakut ceremony was performed, and Madhavendra Puri Goswami personally offered everything to Gopal. Many water pots were filled with scented water for drinking, and Lord Sri Gopal, who had been hungry for many days, ate everything offered to him. Although Sri Gopal ate everything offered, still, by the touch of his transcendental hand, everything remained as before. How Gopal ate everything while the food remained the same was transcendentally perceived by Madhavendra Puri Goswami. Nothing remains a secret to the devotees of the Lord. So I remember this reading towards the end of our discussion last, that Madhavendra Puri could see how Gopal actually ate everything and manifested the food. But to others, it may have appeared like the food was offered and it is still remaining. But actually, Gopal ate everything. And by his touch, he manifested it again. This Madhavendra Puri could see. How he was able to see? Because he was such an exalted devotee, right? Nothing is a secret. Nothing remains a secret to the devotees of the Lord. The wonderful festival and installation of Sri Gopalji was arranged in one day. Certainly, all this was accomplished by the potency of Gopal. No one but a devotee can understand this. So, this whole arrangement was made in one day, right? That very day, uh, they arranged everything. So in the morning they went to uh, in the morning Madhavendra Puri called for everyone, and he took them to the top of the mountain, and they, digging and everything, and they found the deity Gopal, and then they all carried him on top of the mountain. Then they brought so many pots of water and bathed him, and the word spread around that Gopal is here, and people started bringing lots of bhoga. Abhishek was performed, milk, yogurt, and sweets were offered, water was offered, then pan was given, and then arti was performed. Brought all the bhoga. They, yeah. So all this arrangement was made in one day. How can someone do Anakut festival in one day? This all happened by the power, by the potency of Gopal. So the next verse, 80, today's verse, text 80. Achamanadiya dilo vidaka sanchaya arati korila loke kore jaya jaya. Achamanadiya dilo vidaka sanchaya. Vidaka sanchaya means betel nuts. So the deity can take betel nuts. Devotees don't take. Achamanadiya dilo vidaka sanchaya. Sanchaya, Arati Korila Loke Kore Jaya Jaya. So after the whole bhoga was offered and Krishna ate, Gopal ate, Madhavendra Puri saw that Krishna ate, then pan was offered, betel nuts were offered. It's like a mouth freshener afterwards. And then Arati was performed. Madhavendra Puri offered water to Gopal for washing his mouth. So first Achaman was done. Achaman means to rinse off the mouth, and he gave him betel nuts to chew. Then, while Arati was performed, all the people chanted Jai Jai, all glories to Gopal. Next. Shayya Koraila Nutana Khata Anaya Nava Vastra Anitara Upare Patiya. Shayya Koraila Nutana Khata Anaya. Shayya means bed. Khat is a cot, right? Shayya means to lay down, right? For laying down, a new cot was brought. Nava Vastra Ani Tara Upare Patiya. And then they brought new sheets or new cloth to spread on the cot for the Lord to rest. Arranging for the Lord's rest, Sri Madhavendra Puri brought a new cot, and over this he spread a new bedspread and thus made the bed ready. So it appears here, it appears from this actually, because the previous after doing the first arti after Abhishek, we didn't hear anything about the Lord taking rest in the night, isn't it? So it appears that the same day when the people found out that Gopal, you know, Gopal is coming and Gopal is going to be worshipped, immediately they brought all the items. Yes, that we saw. They brought. And it appears that they started cooking right away, that day itself. They started cooking. Of course, first when they brought Gopal, then Abhishek was performed and milk sweets were given and one simple arti, right? Ghee lamps and incense was burned. That's all is said. They didn't say Maha Arti was performed at that time. And meanwhile, they already started cooking in the morning. The potters had brought pots and everything. So then, after the first bathing and all that, now and the singing is going on. Now, whatever they cooked, right, like a Annakut festival, like probably lunchtime, I would assume, they offered all these items to Gopal. Or and then, yeah, I can't tell if it is noon or evening. And after that, now Madhavendra is going to give rest to Gopal to take rest in the night. So actually, everything happened on that day, the day when Gopal was excavated. All this is happening on that day. That is why it is said the whole festival is arranged in one day. Okay. So it is the same night. Arranging for the Lord's rest, either it can be night or afternoon also. Afternoon rest is also given. So arranging for the Lord's rest, Sri Madhavendra brought a new cot and over this he spread a new bedspread and thus made the bed ready. तृणटाटी दिया चारी दिक आवरिला ऊपर येते एकटाटी दिया अच्छा दिला तृण means grass straw trinatati straw mattress diya chari dik avarila so um, they covered because there is no temple, right? So there are no walls, it's just open. uh, Gopal is on one stone. So for him to rest, there has to be some privacy. So they covered with these straw mats on four sides, all around. Avarila, covered. Upar rete ekatati diya acha dila. And then there's another straw mat or mattress on top. So like this, like how you would have a grass hut, like that. On four sides, there are straw mats. And on top also there's one straw mat. And then there's a bed for Gopal to lay down. A temporary temple was constructed by covering the bed all around with a straw mattress. Thus, there was a bed and a straw mattress to cover it. Puri Gosai Agya Dila Sakala Brahmane Abala Vridha Gramera Loka Karaha Bhojane. Puri Gosai is Madhavendra Puri. Agya Dilo. He instructed Sakala Brahmane. So who cooks for Krishna? Brahmanas only will cook. So he ordered all the Brahmanas of that village. A Bala Vridha Gramera Loka. So the people, whether they are young or old, right? Karaho Bhojane. So all of you come and take prasadam, right? He instructed all the brahmanas first, all the brahmanas, whether they're young or old, everyone, please come and take prasadam of Gopal. After the Lord was laid down to rest on the bed, Madhavendra gathered all the brahmanas who had prepared the prasadam and said to them, Acha, not that you eat. Now feed everyone sumptuously from the children on up to the aged. Not that he was feeding the brahmanas first. He asked the brahmanas who had cooked to now serve prasadam to everyone that had participated in that festival. Everyone, from children to old people, everyone must be fed. So he told the brahmanas who cooked for Gopal to now start serving prasadam to everyone that had come there. Sabe bosi krame krame bhojana korila, brahmana brahmani gane age khao yaila. Yeah, sabe basi krame krame bhojana korila. So, whatever space there was, so one after another, right? They arranged maybe batches. So, everyone was served prasadam. Sabi, everyone sat down, krame krame, right? In order, they sat down one after another. Everyone took prasadam, bhojana korila. Brahmana brahmani gane age khao yaila. So first the brahmanas were served prasadam. So others, whoever was serving, not them, but the other brahmanas, whoever were there, first the brahmanas and their wives, the brahmanis, they were served. All the people gathered there sat down to honor the prasadam, and by they took food. All the brahmanas and their wives were fed first. Purport. According to the varnashram system, the brahmanas are always honored first. Thus, at the festival, the brahmanas and their wives were first offered the remnants of food, and then the others, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. This has always been the system, and it is still prevalent in India, even though the caste brahmanas are not qualified. So, but they still follow the system. Even if they are simply caste brahmanas, still the brahmanas are served first, even though they are not qualified, but that is the system. Varnashram system is to feed brahmanas, and in Varnashram system, brahmana means by quality. But, you know, uh, yogo nashta paranta sakale neham mahata yogo nashta paranta. By in due course of time, right, that knowledge gets forgotten and it becomes um, uh, diluted, right? So like that, you just have the externals now remaining. Oh, brahmanas have to be fed first, so it is still observed, but actually the brahmanas, they don't have qualification to be called as brahmanas, but even then the brahmanas are served first. Why is this done? Because according to varnashram system, the brahmanas must always be honored first, so they're following that system. The system is still current due to the varnashram institutional rules and regulations. Yes, we'll see that even now, right? Whenever there is some shraddha or marriage ceremony, you see that it is observed. The brahmanas are served first. Okay, so thank you all so much. We will stop here. We will continue tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. All of you join. I was thinking maybe nobody will be there. Thank you. Hare Krishna.